Hi everyone, it's Aga from EurekaCrystalBeads.com and I'm here with a super fun beading tutorial for you. But before I get started, just a quick reminder to check out the rest of our channel, and if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss any of our content. Although this project was inspired by our August 2025 Mystic Tides collection, which I think is the most gorgeous collection, one of the most gorgeous collections to date. This is the inspiration photo for this collection, but although it was inspired by it, I wouldn't classify it as 100% collection tutorial. It will be on the playlist with our collection tutorials, but it exclusively uses round beads in size 11 and 15, so it definitely doesn't use all of the potential of this collection. For this one, I only used these matte metallic 11-0s that you get a full tube of in the collection, plus for the turquoise blue part on top, I used some of the beads from the custom mix that we added in the collection. This is a Miyuki mix of round beads. So in this mix, you get 2 colors of 15-0s, 2 colors of 11-0s, 1 color of 8-0s, and some 6-0s as well. And for this, I'm going to be using one of the colors of 15-0s and actually 2 colors of 11-0s because I'm going to substitute some of those matte metallic 11-0s that I use here with one of the other colors of 11-0s from the mix so that you can better see where I'm going with everything if you don't know how to do Pondo stitch. And if you do, you can just fast forward to the part where I'm adding this second layer so that you can find out how to do it. Now this project, this bracelet is quite flowy, it drapes very well on the wrist, but it's also not like 100% bendable. You get some resistance there, so it's flowy and drapey, but on the other hand, it does maintain its form, which is really, really cool. Now another product from the collection that I used is this gorgeous toggle clasp from Tiara Cast. Absolutely beautiful and also tiny, perfect for this bracelet. And in addition to the 11-0s and the 15-0s that you need for this bracelet, you're also going to need some jump rings to attach the clasp, and you do get a small pack of jump rings with the collection. Now for tools, you're only going to need a needle and some thread. I'll be using a size 12 needle, but 11 or even 10 will do just fine here. And I'm going to be using 6-pound Fireline in the color Smoke, though it's not very visible, so you can use any other color as well. And if you want to open and close the jump rings, you're also going to need some pliers to do that. And that's it. Let's start beading. Alright, so the game plan for this bracelet is you first do the initial 2 rows of Pondo stitch. I like to do it in the way that I first make one and then I go back and attach the second row, and then you add a little connecting piece all along that we're going to use to build the second row of Pondo stitch on top, and then finally you create the Pondo stitch. That's the second layer of this bracelet. Alright, start with as much thread as you find comfortable working with, because it's almost certain you'll have to add more thread as you go along. And we're going to start by picking up 4 of our primary color beads, 11-0s for this one, but you can do Pondo stitch with other sizes as well. I'm going to pass through them, slide them down my thread, and pass through them again in the same direction to create a circle, or in this case, kind of a square. I'm going to pass through that first bead so that they line up nicely and create a square like that. And now for my bracelet, I used all of the same color of 11-0s, but for this sample, I'm going to use a separate color for the corner beads so that you can better see where they all go. Now I'm going to refer to these beads, the 4 beads that are in the center of each segment. You can see them here. There's 4 of them. Like, let's take this segment. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'll call them center beads. And I'll call the beads in this matte pink color that I'm going to be using now corner beads because there's also going to be 4, and you're going to add 1 in between each 2 beads in the 4 that was just created. So I'm just passing through the next 11-0, and this is added in between them. I pick up another 11-0 in my second color and add it in between this and the next 11-0, like this, and another one. And now the 4th one, and I'm passing through that last or first actually center 11-0 and through that first corner 11-0. Alright, so now you have 4 beads in the center and 4 beads in the corners. Now I'm going to pick up 4 beads in my first color. These are going to be my center beads, and I'm going to pass through the bead that my thread is coming out of to put those 4 beads on top of it like that. Now I'm going to go around adding the second color in between them, but since I'm going to make a round to the top again to add the next segment, I'm going to pass through the first 2 beads at once. Just because it's easier, I'm going to be going that way one more time anyway. And now is when I add my second color, and that's my first corner bead. And this is the one that I'm going to connect the next segment to as well. I pick up the second corner bead, pass down through the next center bead in the first color. And now you could go around back to this first corner bead to continue, either by passing through this corner bead that connects this segment to the previous one, from this side of course, but to have a neat segment with all of the beads connected right, I'm going to skip that corner bead and pass through the next center bead. Now I do that because these center beads were not connected before, and now they're going to connect, and when you pull tight, they're just going to make a neater shape. I pick up another corner bead and pass up through the next center bead and the corner bead on top. And there, that's the first 2 segments completed. I pick up 4 beads in the first color again and pass through the corner bead that my thread is exiting. You may notice that every other segment, the thread is going to come out the other way, so it's just kind of like this. I'm passing through the first 2 of the center beads. If it's easier for you, you can flip your work so that you're working in your preferred direction. And I'm picking up 1 bead in my corner bead color, so the second one, and passing through the next center bead. Picking up a second one, down through the next center bead. And this one is not connected to that first one, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna skip this corner bead here and go directly through the next center bead so that when I pull tight, they create a neater shape. And up through the last center bead and the first corner bead that I added. And you just continue like this until you've reached your desired length. For 11-0s in color A through the corner bead. I'm going to flip my work now. 2 beads up. Adding my first corner bead. Through the next 11-0 in the center circle. Another corner bead. Down through the next 11-0. Connecting the 2 11-0s in the center circle that were not connected. And the last corner bead in this segment. And one note, the shape will be definitely prettier if you just pass through 1 bead at a time in that final sew through in each segment, I pass through both of them, and that's why those central corner beads are kind of a little bit not in line. Each of them is kind of tilted one way or the other. So I do recommend that you just pass through one bead at a time and not be hasty like me. Just have some patience. Alright, let's say that's the length that I want. I just made a little sample, but you do this to the length that you want. So your thread will be coming out of this top corner bead, and you want to get to one of the beads on the sides, one of the corner beads on the sides. So I'm just passing down through the next center bead and the corner bead on the side. Now I'm going to pick up 4 center beads. Just like before, it's always going to be 4 center beads. I pass through the 11-0 that my thread is coming out of. And now a rule that I like for this, because making this first row, I went through 2 center beads at a time at this point. But now I'm going to pass through as many beads as get me to the corner bead that's going to connect to the next segment. So in this case, we're going down here. So I'm passing through 1 because this is where the corner bead that's going to connect to the next segment is going to be. So I pick up that corner bead and connect these 2 center beads over here. Now I need another corner bead up and another one passing through the next center bead. And now these 2 center beads are not connected. So I'm going to connect them by skipping the corner bead and passing directly through the next center bead like that. And now I'm in the spot where I want to connect the next segment in the Pondo stitch. And I'm going to start, as always, with 4 center beads. I'm going to pass through this corner bead that my thread is coming out of. And now the corner bead that's going to connect to the next segment is going to be in here, in between these 2 11-0s at the bottom. So I'm going to pass through the 2 11-0s down here. I'm going to add that corner bead, pass through the center bead that's next. And now it's time for a corner bead, but you already have one in here. So you pass through it, and I'm going to catch that next center bead as well to connect it like that. So you just don't need to add a corner bead in here because it's already there. And now these center beads are not connected, so I skip this corner bead that I originally started the segment with and connect them. Make sure that they connect together in the middle there. And now I just need one more corner bead on this side here. So I pass down through the center bead, and don't be like me, just pass through the center bead, but I'm passing through the center bead and the bottom corner bead as well. And that's where this segment ends, and I can start the next one. 4 center beads, passing through the bead that my thread was coming out of. And at this point, I can already connect this segment to the first row. So I just pass through the corner bead that's already there and through the center 11-0. Now I did that since it's already there. We're going to have to pass through here anyway, because we're going to add the next segment down here. But you can as well already connect it. Another corner bead through the center 11-0. And another one. Now I want to connect these 2 center beads. So I pass directly through the next one and through that corner bead that I already connected to, but since it's on the way, I'm passing through it, and through the center bead and the first corner bead that I newly added, and I'm ready to add the next segment. So again, the direction in which your thread is coming out of will alternate, but you always add 4 center beads and then go around connecting to or adding new corner beads. Alright, this is the last bead in this first layer of Pondo stitch, and my thread is coming out of this top corner bead, and it's the perfect moment to add this loop that will finish our work and make it possible to add a jump ring. I'm going to pick up 6 11-ohs. I'll slide them down my thread, and 2 of them are going to be connecting these 2 top corner beads, and the other 4 are going to be our loop for connecting the jump rings. And I'm going to pass through that second bead again in the same direction to create a loop with the 4 beads that are on top. So when you pull tight, this is what you get more or less. I'm going to pass through the 4 beads on top again in that 11-oh that they're attached to. Now I'll pass through the first of the 11-ohs in the circle. And just for decoration, I'm going to add a 15-oh in between the top 3 beads, so 3 15-ohs. It's going to help this loop preserve its shape as well. And the third 15-oh down the 4th of the beads in the loop. Now through that second bead that we picked up again. And the loop is ready for the jump ring. Meanwhile, I'll add 1 more 11-oh and pass through the top corner bead in this second segment in here, and that's the end of the bracelet. Now I want to find myself coming out of one of those connecting corner beads in here towards the next one, so inwards. And the way to do it, since my thread is coming out of here, is to just go around this segment. You can go through just the middle beads or go through the corner beads as well. Right, and now my thread is coming out of this corner bead inwards, and what you pick up is a 15-oh, 11-oh, 15-oh, and pass through the corner bead, connecting corner bead, opposite to the one that your thread is coming out of, so that you add this little segment right on top in here. And this is the 11-oh that's going to be the corner bead for the top row. So in the top row, it's going to be the opposite. So the brown or the metallic, matte metallic 11-ohs are going to be our corner beads. And we're going to pick up some blue ones for the central beads. But for the time being, you just need to add these little bits in between these connecting corner beads in your first layer. So my thread at this point is coming out of this 11-oh in here, so I need to pass through the beads all around again. To find my thread coming out of the next connecting corner bead. And again 15-oh, 11-oh, 15-oh. And through the opposite connecting corner bead. Just like that. So you're basically filling those square-shaped holes in the middle there. To the next one. And you do that, adding those little 3 bead segments on top until the end of your bracelet. And then you add a loop for the jump ring on the other side. Alright, I'm done with my extra segments. And now I'm going to cheat a little bit because I just made this loop. And I will be adding the extra layer of Pondo stitch by connecting these central 11-ohs that I just added, but it's just going to be between them. So the first one is going to be here, and I want the second layer to stretch all the way to this loop, which is why I need to be coming out of this corner bead, but this way. And I don't want to go around through all of those beads again, finding a way to add my one last 3 bead set on top here. So I'm just going to cheat a little bit. I'm going in the middle of this segment here and through this 11-oh. So this is going to get the thread hooked on the thread that connects the two 11-ohs to central 11-ohs, and that's how it's going to hold. And now I can add my 15-oh, 11-oh, 15-oh. And I pass through this corner 11-oh on the other side. I'm going to cheat on here too because I want to get back to that 11-oh that I just added. So I go in the center of this segment and back through the corner 11-oh and through the 15-oh on top. And now through the 11-oh and the extra bit that we just added. And I'm ready to start adding my second layer. So this time the center beads, the 4 beads in the center of each segment, are going to be these silver aligned blue 11-ohs from the mix. And like in a typical segment, you want to go back through the bead your thread is exiting. This is going to be the corner bead. So like that. I'm adding these 4 in here. And now like I did before, I go to the corner bead that's going to connect me to the next segment because I'm going to be passing through these 2 11-ohs in the center again, so I might as well just pass through them without adding a corner bead because I will be adding a corner bead the second time around that I go through them. Now I'm connecting this corner bead that's in the 3 bead piece that we added in the previous row and through the 11-oh in the center 4. Now I'm going to add my corner bead, which in this case is going to be the matte metallic brownish Miyuki. I pass through that last center bead. And now these 2 are not connected. It doesn't look nice, so I pass directly through the next center bead, skipping the corner bead. Now I need one more corner bead here, and I pass up through that last center bead, and voila! Through the 11-oh that was already there. That's how you add that second layer of Pondo stitch. Now I'm coming out of the corner bead, ready to add another segment here. So I pick up 4 11-ohs for the center, through that corner 11-oh again. Now it's harder because you cannot flip your work to the other side, you just can maneuver up and down. I'm passing through the 2 center beads. Now through the 11-oh and the 3 bead segment added before. Through the next 11-oh in the center 4. Adding the corner bead. I'm gonna connect the 2 beads in the center 4 that are still not connected. And the last corner bead. And you continue in this way until the very end. Now if you reach the end and like me, you forgot to add that 3 bead section in here, the 15-oh, 11-oh, 15-oh, don't worry. You can add it as you go. So I pick up my usual center beads, I go around like I normally would. Now I need to add the corner bead that was usually there when I was connecting the 3 bead sections. I add the corner bead on the side, connect the center beads. I add the corner bead on the other side. I pass through this corner bead that I added and that is currently quite loose. Now I just need to add a 15-0. And I pass through the corner bead in the bottom that this 15-0 would be connected to. I do my cheat move, so I go in the middle of this segment here and back through the 11-0 as well as through the 15-0 that we just added previously. Now through the corner 11-0 on top, and you just add one more 15-0 on the other side. And there, that's it. All that's left to do is tie a knot, weave in both of the tails, attach your jump rings and your clasp, and you're done. And that's it for this collection / technique tutorial. I hope you liked it. I hope you liked this bracelet design. All of the materials can be found at eurekacrystalbeads.com. As always, thank you so much for watching and see you in the next one. Bye!